something shifted in the last decade. The way certain women behave in relationships, in public, online, it's become unrecognizable. The entitlement, the demands, the complete disconnect from reality. Men are watching this and asking what happened. Well, I'm going to explain exactly what happened, why it happened, and what it means for the future of relationships. This isn't about all women. Plenty of incredible women see this, too, and are equally horrified. This is about a specific subset who've been programmed to act in ways that destroy their own happiness while blaming everyone else for the wreckage. Let me be clear about where I'm coming from. I used to try to be neutral, diplomatic, find the middle ground. But watching what's happening to young men, watching the exploitation, the manipulation, the gaslighting, I can't stay neutral anymore. The truth needs to be told, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable, because comfortable lies got us into this mess. The skepticism toward equality needs to be addressed, not equality of value as humans, that's real. But the pretense that men and women are identical in capabilities, desires, and contributions, that's fantasy. And this fantasy is being weaponized. When a 5 feet 2 inches woman can't meet physical standards for firefighting, lowering those standards isn't equality. It's denial of reality that puts lives at risk. Professor, some women have internalized a superiority narrative that's destroying their ability to have healthy relationships. They genuinely believe they're better than men in every way. Smarter, more emotionally intelligent, more valuable, more evolved. They've been told this since childhood. Girls mature faster. Women are better communicators. The future is female. And they believed it. I counsel men who describe partners who literally say things like, "You're lucky I'm with you," while bringing nothing to the relationship but demands. These women genuinely believe their mere presence is a gift. They've been programmed to see themselves as prizes just for existing, while seeing men as defective creatures lucky to be chosen. The critique of modern feminism isn't about women's rights. Those matter. It's about how the movement morphed from seeking equality to demanding superiority. First wave wanted voting rights, reasonable. Second wave wanted workplace equality, fair. But this current wave, it wants men subordinated, not equalized. It's not about lifting women up anymore. It's about pushing men down. The manipulation and exploitation tactics have become systematic. Leveraging historical guilt. Men oppressed women for centuries, so you owe us. Weaponizing emotions. Tears that appear on command when accountability looms. Playing victim while being the aggressor. These aren't accidents. They're strategies taught and reinforced through social media, education, and peer groups. Here's what I tell men. Reject the guilt and obligation completely. You didn't own slaves. You didn't deny women voting rights. You didn't create historical patriarchy. You were born into a world where women have every legal right men do, plus additional protections and privileges. You owe nobody anything based on what people with penises did before you were born. The respect and authority dynamic has become completely one-sided. Men are expected to respect women unconditionally. Believe all women. Happy wife, happy life. The customer is always right. But men's dignity, that's conditional on female approval. Your worth as a man is determined by whether women validate you. That's not equality. That's subordination. Let's talk historical context because it matters. Yes, historically men held authority, but with that authority came responsibility, dying in wars, working dangerous jobs, providing for families they barely saw. Women couldn't vote, but they also couldn't be drafted. They couldn't own property, but they also weren't expected to die protecting it. There were trade-offs. Then liberalism gave women all the rights without the responsibilities. They got the vote without the draft. They got career access without provider obligations. They got sexual freedom without social consequences. And for a while, this worked because most women still chose traditional paths voluntarily. But now we have a generation that wants all the privileges of both systems with none of the obligations of either. 6 stern women have overestimated their leverage catastrophically. They've been told they're queens, goddesses, prizes. They've been told men are optional, that they don't need men, that men are lucky to have them. So, they act accordingly. Dismissive, demanding, disrespectful. Then they hit 35, single, and wondering where all the good men went. The rejection of reciprocity is what really destroys relationships. Relationships are trades. Time for time, effort for effort, value for value. But some women now believe they deserve everything while giving nothing. They want traditional provision from men while rejecting traditional roles themselves. They want protection while offering no respect. They want commitment while maintaining all options. A client showed me his girlfriend's social media post. "I don't need to cook or clean. That's what restaurants and maids are for. I bring myself to the relationship. That's enough." This same woman expected him to pay all bills, plan all dates, handle all emotional labor. She literally believed her presence was her contribution. He left. She's still single, still confused. The consequences are already visible. Marriage rates plummeting, birth rates cratering, men walking away en masse. And instead of introspection, what's the response? More blame. Men are intimidated. Men can't handle strong women. Men are commitment phobic. No recognition that maybe, just maybe, the deal being offered isn't worth taking. Here's what's going to happen. Society will split into two distinct cultures. One where female supremacy narratives dominate, populated by bitter women and weak men who enable them. Another where mutual respect, complementary roles, and actual partnership exist. Guess which one will have happy relationships, stable families, and thriving children? The gendered social strategy is already sorting people. Quality men are gravitating toward women who offer actual partnership, respect, reciprocity, reasonable expectations. Quality women are rejecting feminist programming and embracing their feminine power without exploiting it. The toxic actors of both genders are being left to destroy each other. The psychological observation here is fascinating. We're watching an entire generation of women discover that social media lied to them, that feminism lied to them, that you can have it all was a marketing slogan, not life advice. The anger phase is brutal. They lash out at men, at society, at other women who succeeded where they failed. But I'm protective of good individuals, both men and women, the kind, respectful, contributing members of society who just want healthy relationships. These people need protection from toxic influences. They need to understand what's happening so they don't get pulled into destructive dynamics. They need strategies to identify and avoid damaged partners. Some women are waking up to how they've been programmed. They're realizing that treating men with contempt doesn't lead to happiness. That demanding everything while offering nothing leads to loneliness. That fighting biology and reality leads to misery. These women have my respect. It takes courage to reject comfortable lies for uncomfortable truths. The social media influence cannot be overstated. Every day, young women consume content telling them they're perfect. Men are trash. Standards should be astronomical. Effort is oppression. They're literally being programmed to fail at relationships. Then when they do fail, the same influencers seldom cope about how it's not their fault. The dating app statistics reveal the delusion perfectly. Women rate 80% of men as below average attractiveness. Mathematically impossible, but feelings don't care about math. They're matching with the top 10% of men who have unlimited options, getting pumped and dumped, then concluding all men are players. No, you read just invisible to 90% of men while competing for the 10% who don't need to commit. The biological reality that feminism denies is crucial. Men and women are different. Not better or worse, different. Different strengths, different weaknesses, different priorities, different attractions. Denying this leads to confusion, conflict, and collapse. You can't social engineer away millions of years of evolution. A woman in her prime fertility years has enormous power, but that power has an expiration date. Men's power, resources, status, experience typically grows with age. This isn't social construction. It's biological reality. Denying it leads to women wasting their youth and men being exploited in their maturity. The entitlement programming starts young. Girls rule. Boys drool. The future is female. Girl boss. Queen. By the time they're adults, some women genuinely believe they're superior beings deserving of worship. They're shocked when reality doesn't conform to their programming. They're angry when men don't play along with their fantasy. 1358. Here's a practical example. A client's daughter, 22 years old, told him she deserves a man who makes six figures, is over 6 feet tall, has no kids, never been married, and will wait until she's ready for marriage and kids in her mid-30s. She herself works retail, lives at home, and is average-looking. The entitlement is breathtaking, but she genuinely believes this is reasonable. The victim narrative is perhaps the most destructive programming. Some women have been taught to see oppression everywhere. Air conditioning is sexist. Expecting punctuality is oppression. Having standards is misogyny. When everything is victimization, nothing is. When everything is trauma, nothing is. The words lose all meaning. The mental health excuse epidemic is part of this. I can't work. I have anxiety. I can't commit. I have trauma. I can't be respectful. I have depression. Mental health is real and serious, but some women use it as a universal excuse for any behavior, any failure, any shortcoming. It's weaponized weakness. 8. Men are responding by developing what I call defensive dating. They're vetting harder, committing less, protecting assets more. They're requiring actual evidence of value before investing. They're walking away at the first red flag instead of trying to fix things. This isn't hatred. It's pattern recognition and self-preservation. The traditional relationship model worked for millennia. Man provides resources and protection. Woman provides children and household management. Both had value. Both had respect. Both needed each other. Modern feminism destroyed this without providing a functional replacement. Now, nobody knows what they're supposed to do or be. Some women want traditional provision, but modern freedom. They want a man who pays all bills, but also does half the housework. They want male protection, but not male authority. They want commitment, but not accountability. They want the benefits of all relationship models simultaneously. That's not how reality works. The competence crisis is real. Many modern women can't cook, won't clean, don't want children, aren't pleasant. What exactly are they offering? Sex. That's abundant and free in the modern world. Companionship. Men have friends for that emotional support. Many modern women are emotional vampires, not supporters. I ask women directly, what do you bring to a relationship? The answers are revealing. My presence, my love, myself. These are not contributions. They're participation trophies. Men bring resources, protection, problem-solving, stability. What's the female equivalent? And don't say emotional labor. That's just another term for complaining. The strong, independent woman narrative has backfired spectacularly. Turns out most women don't want to be strong and independent. They want to be protected and provided for. But after decades of saying they don't need men, men believed them and withdrew. Now these strong, independent women are alone, exhausted, and bitter. The cognitive dissonance is painful to watch. The same woman who says, I don't need a man, is on dating apps desperately seeking one. The same woman who says men are trash wonders why quality men avoid her. The same woman who says I'm a queen lives like a peasant. The gap between narrative and reality has become a chasm. Social contagion spreads these toxic behaviors. One woman in a friend group starts with the men are trash narrative and it spreads like a virus. Soon they're all single, all bitter, all reinforcing each other's delusions. They're literally talking each other out of happiness. It's a misery cult that recruits through social media. The pendulum is already swinging back. Gen Z men are more conservative than millennials. They're rejecting feminist programming entirely. They're embracing traditional masculinity, traditional values, traditional relationship models. Not because they hate women, but because they've seen what the alternative produces. Chaos. Some women are panicking as they realize the power shift. For decades, young women held all the cards in dating. Now men are walking away from the table entirely. The "Where have all the good men gone?" articles are multiplying. The answer is simple. They're gone. They opted out. They chose peace over exploitation. The immigration of quality men is happening subtly. They're dating foreign women, moving abroad, or simply choosing solitude. They're not announcing it, not making manifestos, not creating movements. They're just quietly withdrawing from a market that doesn't value them. Here's the truth about modern feminism. It's a luxury belief. Only in abundantly safe, prosperous societies can women pretend they don't need men. One major crisis, war, economic collapse, infrastructure failure, and watch how quickly "I don't need a man" becomes "please protect and provide for me." The test culture has become exhausting. Every interaction is a test. Every request is a trap. Every conversation is a power struggle. Men are tired of being constantly evaluated, constantly challenged, constantly required to prove themselves. Relationships aren't supposed to be job interviews that never end. Some women have been programmed to see masculinity itself as toxic. Male leadership, oppressive, male strength, threatening male logic, mansplaining, male emotion, manipulation. They've been taught to pathize normal male behavior while celebrating toxic female behavior. The accountability allergy is perhaps the most destructive trait. Some modern women cannot accept responsibility for anything. Failed relationship, his fault, career problems, patriarchy, financial struggles, wage gap, personal unhappiness, society. There's always an external cause, never personal responsibility. The projection is constant. Women who manipulate accuse men of manipulation. Women who lie accuse men of dishonesty. Women who cheat accuse men of infidelity. It's like they're reading from their own playbook while accusing others of writing. The double standards have become comical. Body positivity for women, but men must be fit. Women's preferences are valid. Men's are shallow. Women's emotions matter. Men's are toxic. Women's spaces are necessary. Men's are discriminatory. The hypocrisy is so blatant, it's almost impressive. Here's what good women need to understand. You're being damaged by association. When men hear modern woman, they think of the toxic examples because those are the loudest. You need to actively differentiate yourself. Show through actions, not words, that you're different. Because men have been lied to so much that words mean nothing anymore. The good men have developed sophisticated filtering systems. They're looking for red flags. Social media addiction, feminist rhetoric, victim mentality, entitlement, lack of accountability, masculine energy, disrespect for men. One red flag and they're gone. They'd rather be alone than with someone toxic. The marriage strike is real and growing. Men have realized marriage offers them nothing but risk. No-fault divorce means commitment is one-sided. Biased family courts mean fathers have no rights. Lifetime alimony means financial slavery. Why would any rational man sign up for that? 2645. Some women are starting to offer actual value again. They're learning to cook, developing pleasant personalities, showing respect and appreciation. They're rejecting feminist programming and embracing feminine energy. And guess what? They're getting married to quality men while their feminist friends stay single. The cultural divide is becoming unbridgeable. There's no middle ground between men are trash and men deserve respect. Between I don't need a man and I want a partner, between destroy the patriarchy and build functional families. People are choosing sides and the sides are moving apart. The loneliness epidemic among women is self-inflicted. They pushed men away, demanded impossible standards, rejected good options, waiting for perfect. Now they're alone with their cats and wine, wondering what went wrong. What went wrong is they believed comfortable lies instead of uncomfortable truths. Young men need to understand this isn't your fault. You didn't create this situation. You're not responsible for fixing it. Your job is to protect yourself, build your value, and carefully select partners who add to your life rather than subtract from it. Let toxic women suffer the consequences of their choices. The restoration of balance will happen naturally. Toxic women will remove themselves from the gene pool. Women who offer actual partnership will thrive. Men who maintain standards will succeed. Men who accept exploitation will suffer. Biology doesn't care about ideology. It rewards what works and punishes what doesn't. The practical advice for men is simple but not easy. Ignore toxic women completely socially, romantically, politically. Don't argue with them. Don't try to fix them. Don't engage with them. Focus on building yourself and finding women who reciprocate respect, effort, and value. They exist, but you have to filter hard to find them. The practical advice for good women is equally direct. Differentiate yourself through actions. Show appreciation, respect, reciprocity. Reject toxic friend groups that poison your mind. Stop listening to bitter women who want you to join their misery. Find a good man and treat him well. They're becoming rare and valuable. The negotiation phase is over. Men tried to explain their perspective, their needs, their value. They were called misogynists, insults, toxic. So they stopped explaining and started walking away. The time for discussion has passed. Now it's just consequences playing out in real time. Some women claim they're happy alone, living their best life. But the antidepressant prescriptions, the wine consumption, the desperate dating app behavior tells a different story. Humans aren't meant to be alone. Women especially aren't meant to be alone. They're biologically wired for connection and community. The warning to young women is this: you're being lied to. You can't have it all. You can't delay fertility indefinitely. You can't treat men like garbage and expect devotion. You can't offer nothing and demand everything. Reality always wins, and reality doesn't care about your feelings. The message to young men is more hopeful. You're going to be fine. Your value increases with age if you build it. Your options expand while there's contract. Your power grows while there's fades. Stay strong, stay focused, stay patient. Time is on your side. This isn't about hatred or revenge. It's about understanding reality and acting accordingly. Some women have chosen ideology over biology, narrative over nature, ego over outcomes. That's their choice. Your choice is whether to participate in their delusion or build something real with someone reasonable. The quality women watching this. Yes, you exist and we see you. You're disgusted by what modern feminism has become. You want actual partnership, not domination. You offer value, not just demands. You're fighting against the programming, too. Don't give up. Good men are looking for you. The restoration of sanity will come from individuals choosing reality over narrative, from men refusing exploitation, from women offering actual value, from both genders respecting biological reality and complementary roles. It won't come from movements or politics. It'll come from personal choices. Modern women are acting this way because they've been programmed to. But programming can be overwritten by reality. And reality is providing increasingly harsh feedback. The question isn't whether the programming will break, it's how much damage will be done before it does. The collapse of the current system is inevitable. You can't build a civilization on lies, even comfortable ones. You can't sustain relationships on exploitation. You can't create families from narcissism. Something has to give. And increasingly, what's giving is men's participation. But from collapse comes opportunity. The chance to build something better, something real, something sustainable, based on truth, not narrative, biology, not ideology, reciprocity, not exploitation. The old system is dying. The question is, what will replace it? The warning to young women is this. You're being lied to. You can't have it all. You can't delay fertility indefinitely. You can't treat men like garbage and expect devotion. You can't offer nothing and demand everything. Reality always wins, and reality doesn't care about your feelings. The message to young men is more hopeful. You're going to be fine. Your value increases with age if you build it. Your options expand while there's contract. Your power grows while there's fades. Stay strong. Stay focused. Stay patient. Time is on your side. This isn't about hatred or revenge. It's about understanding reality and acting accordingly. Some women have chosen ideology over biology, narrative over nature, ego over outcomes. That's their choice. Your choice is whether to participate in their delusion or build something real with someone reasonable. The quality women watching this. Yes, you exist and we see you. You're disgusted by what modern feminism has become. You want actual partnership, not domination. You offer value, not just demands. You're fighting against the programming to don't give up. Good men are looking for you. The restoration of sanity will come from individuals choosing reality over narrative, from men refusing exploitation, from women offering actual value, from both genders respecting biological reality and complementary roles. It won't come from movements or politics. It'll come from personal choices. Modern women are acting this way because they've been programmed to. But programming can be overwritten by reality. And reality is providing increasingly harsh feedback. The question isn't whether the programming will break. It's how much damage will be done before it does. The collapse of the current system is inevitable. You can't build a civilization on lies, even comfortable ones. You can't sustain relationships on exploitation. You can't create families from narcissism. Something has to give. And increasingly, what's giving is men's participation. But from collapse comes opportunity. The chance to build something better, something real, something sustainable. Based on truth, not narrative, biology, not ideology, reciprocity, not exploitation. The old system is dying. The question is, what will replace it? Some women will adapt and thrive. They'll reject the programming, embrace reality, offer value, and find happiness. Others will double down on delusion, blame everyone but themselves, and die alone. Natural selection doesn't care about your politics. It rewards what works. The men who maintain standards and build value will have their pick of partners. The men who accept exploitation will be destroyed. The women who offer partnership will find commitment. The women who offer only demands will find solitude. This is already happening. Look around. The happy couples you know, they're not following feminist programming. They have complementary roles, mutual respect, actual partnership. The miserable singles. You know, they're deep in the ideology, blaming everyone but themselves. The truth about why modern women are acting this way is simple. They've been programmed to act against their own interests, taught to reject what makes them happy, encouraged to embrace what makes them miserable. It's the most successful scop in human history. But programming isn't permanent. Reality provides feedback. Consequences teach lessons. Pain motivates change. The women who learn will adapt and succeed. The ones who don't will serve as warnings to others. The choice for everyone is clear. Participate in the delusion or build something real. Enable the toxic or protect yourself from it. Accept comfortable lies or embrace uncomfortable truths. The future belongs to those who choose reality. I want to hear from you. Men, what behaviors have you seen that made you walk away? Women, have you rejected the programming? And what woke you up? Everyone, what do you think happens next? Drop your observations in the comments. Let us document this cultural moment while we reliving through it, because we re-watching history being made and the ending hasn't been written yet.